If you've been watching the car launches this season, there is one thing that you have probably picked up on, and that is the fact that all teams are using a lot more exposed carbon on their cars this year. Now this isn't new to 2023. If you look at the McLaren from the start of last season, from their livery launch all the way to the end of the season, you will notice how much paint they stripped off of that car during the season. Now the main reason that teams do this is to do with weight. Now paint doesn't seem that heavy when you think of how thin it is on the car. But if you've ever picked up a tub of paint to paint a wall, you'll know that it weighs quite a lot. Now it's been estimated that total weight for a Formula 1 car is about 6 kilos, and in Formula 1 when 10 kilos is about 3/10 a lap, that is a huge amount of weight that is on that car. Now obviously if teams are above that weight limit, taking this paint off will help them bring it down to the weight limit. But a lot of these teams managed to get to the weight limit last season, so why are they trying to reduce this weight? And the main reason for this is to do with ballast. Now in Formula 1, if you can choose the distribution of the weight in the car, that is extremely beneficial. Now distributing this weight over the whole surface evenly of a car isn't actually that bad, but if teams can remove this and put the ballast lower in the car, have a lower center of gravity, maybe distribute the weight more towards the front or the back of the car wherever they're having issues, this is a better use of that weight than just using it to spray the whole car in a single color. Now the problem we're facing is teams are starting to strip this paint off, which is making it quite difficult to identify the different cars. Going back to 2022, it was super easy to differentiate the different teams during a race, but in 2023, this looks like it's going to be a little bit more challenging. The all black Mercedes now I think is going to look quite similar to the Red Bull when you're zoomed out and maybe during a night race, and I think fans of the sport want to see their team colours across the whole car rather than just like a strip of colour or something just to be able to identify it. Now what should be done about this? I think Formula 1 should enforce that at least 90% of your car has to be painted, so if you want it black, you have to paint it black. Now this will stop teams stripping off as much paint as possible and leaving the exposed carbon. I don't think Formula 1 engineers should have to worry about the look of their car from an aesthetic and like marketing point of view on how it performs from a weight distribution point of view. Make all cars have to cover at least 90% of their car in paint, no matter the colour, and this will remove this problem that we are seeing. I think teams are going to be extremely annoyed with what Mercedes have done, and I think before we see the cars in Bahrain, they're going to do exactly the same. They're going to take off more paint and redistribute that weight, as Mercedes are clearly getting an advantage at the moment by doing this technique. Now this is why Formula 1 engineers are the best in the world at what they do. They look for loopholes, they look at ways they can maybe bend or get around the rules. Now this is a genius solution. I'm surprised teams haven't implemented more. Obviously you have some teams that will have to have colour on their car. If you took all the papaya off the McLaren, it kind of makes it pointless. So I think Formula 1 should enforce that they have to have a certain percentage of their car covered in paint. But it'll be interesting to see if any of the liveries change before Bahrain, as I can imagine a lot of the title competitors like Ferrari and Red Bull aren't going to be too happy about what Mercedes have done. Do you think teams should be able to strip as much paint off the car as they like? Let me know down in the comments below, and let me know if you think they should bring in a rule to enforce this.